The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Greetings and thank you for joining us, and welcome to Easton 300. It's a monthly TV show that talks about good things that are going to be happening in the year 2025. Yes, the town of Easton, Massachusetts will be celebrating their 300th anniversary, and we're not too far away from that date. I'm Dave Clifton. My co-host is not with us right now, but Brian may be joining us during the show. We'll have to wait and see. Brian Hoffman, of course, is his name. And my two guests that join us today, we have Dale Kerester, who is the vice chair of the 300th anniversary. We call it the Tricentennial Committee. And a guy who you've probably recognized his face. He happens to be the president of the Historical Society here in the town of Easton. He also is on the Tricentennial Committee, and his responsibility is dealing with the businesses. And of course, Dale is the vice chair. You also are sort of the community liaison. The other guy who's been very much involved in community outreach. Here we are. It's in September. And as I said to many committee members, they feel that we have 4 months remaining before our celebration begins. But I don't look at it that way. I look at, we got 8 meetings prior to this giant celebration taking place. We got 10 members appointed by the Easton Select Board. We have another 35 members that are in and out of our meetings, very much involved. And we expect by the time we get finished, there'll be hundreds, because it takes lots of people to run the different events. If I were to pick out one like the parade, we need about 35 members just to make that parade happen. We have so many people to thank. We have many sponsors that we'd like to thank. It's hard to pick out names, fellas, because there's always the fear that we may miss someone. Dale, you've been with us since we began. You are the vice chair. You've been active in the community in many other different areas. And you have said to me that this is a fun committee to be on.
Well, this is perhaps one of the only town committees that actually serves freshly baked cookies during their meetings. So if anybody needs an incentive to come to the meetings, come to the Tricentennial meetings. We have freshly baked cookies. And if you need any other incentive, you got it right there.
There's no doubt in my mind that he enjoys cookies.
I do.
But I wanted to ask you about community outreach. You've been reaching out, getting the word around, telling people about what's going to happen. Can you imagine 1725 to 2025? A lot of history.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it, that at the time the Revolutionary War was being fought, this town was celebrating its 50th anniversary. So it was incorporated December 21st, 1725. And there's a lot of good things to be celebrating during 2025. And as Dave, as you know, the theme is bringing families and community together. And I've been looking to engage the community organizations with our different activities. And we really have 2 different components to that program. And people can learn more about the Tricentennial generally and about our community partnership program at easton300.org. And we have really 2 components for that community outreach program. Number one, we're working with various organizations to have them come up with additional events to supplement our signature events that we're doing. And I can talk a little bit about that. And then in addition, we're interested in the various organizations who have annual activities that they may do, so it might be a road race or otherwise, and have them partner with us to make it part of the Tricentennial celebration and to appear in our calendar of events.
Absolutely terrific. And my other guest certainly is recognizable here as we salute ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, for covering not just our meetings, folks, but they also intend to cover all of the events. If anyone knows history, you certainly do here in the town of Easton, being the president of the Historical Society. I always think of you. I think of a guy like Ed Hands, been around for a while, knows the community. What can you say about the history that we can brag about?
Well, I can say several different things. One of the things I'd like to do, though, is comment on something that Dale said. If anybody shows up at a meeting expecting to get freshly baked cookies, you better get there before Dale does.
There won't be many left,
Because
otherwise.
there will be none left. Trust me on that. Secondly, I'd like to say that I'll thank Dave for the compliment of putting me at the same level or stature as Ed Hands. That's like saying somebody's on the junior varsity and you just got promoted to varsity. So I accept the compliment, but I refuse the stature. So Ed is way far ahead of me. But a little bit about the history. As Dale said a moment ago, on December 21st, 1725, the town of Easton was incorporated. Actually, people started coming into the town of Easton in a settlement mode around 1676 to 1694. And the main draws at that time were farmland, bog iron, and water power. And in many areas of the town, for example, bog iron, you had what's now known as Furnace Village, where many foundries were, the Leonard Foundry, the Perry Foundry. And during the Revolutionary War, this is something that is really pretty interesting. During the Revolutionary War, at Valley Forge, there were 32 Easton residents with Washington's troops. If you think about that in the context of the time and the population, that was a large percentage of the able-bodied men of the town. So when you look at the town of Easton and you look at its history, its inhabitants, residents, have participated in history from the time of the Revolutionary War all the way up. And I'm sure that some of the folks who lived here may very well have been involved in the King Philip's War, which preceded 1676. There are many, many historical aspects to the town. The role of the Ameses in financing and building the Transcontinental Railroad from east to west. When you look at the number of residents in Easton who've served in all of the various wars and conflicts, it's pretty astounding. The precedent was set, I would say, in the Revolutionary War. Just look at the architecture in the town. The town of Easton has 5 buildings designed by H.H. Richardson, landscaped in whole or in part by Frederick Law Olmsted.
And they're all amazing.
And they are amazing. They're tremendous. And when you think about, Richardson designed Trinity Church in Copley Square in Boston, Olmsted did the Emerald Necklace in the Boston area, and Central Park in New York. For many people, the Rockery was designed by Frederick Law Olmsted as a monument, a cairn, C-A-I-R-N, which was in memory of Civil War veterans. So when you look at the town of Easton, you can just walk down the street and you can see history. You can drive around the town and you can find history. So,
and you can take your bicycle while you're eating cookies. There's a definite...
You're telling me I need to get some exercise, what you're saying here? I don't disagree with you.
No, you need to eat less cookies.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what my son tells me.
But let's put the camera on our logo. We certainly are forever grateful to the person that designed that logo. And as you can see on the bottom ribbon, 1725 to 2025. And we purposely asked the person, Piper Janalis, to make that 3 o'clock because we're thinking 300 years of service here in the town of Easton, Massachusetts. And I know that what a terrific job she did with that. And she also did the banner. And of course, you can see that banner right behind you, Dale, that shows the sponsor on the bottom. We're going to have about 120 banners that'll be hung throughout the community. They're going to be going up the first week in December. And of course, they'll be there for an entire year. That's not a bad deal for $300 to advertise for an entire year. But you're going to know that there's a big time celebration going on in the town of Easton when you see all the banners. And of course, we're going to have some signs up that give our logo. It also shows what our web page is all about. And it's going to be a terrific celebration. We got an active committee, Dale, no doubt about it.
We do. We've been fortunate over and above those who are appointed by the select board to have a very active group of very talented individuals to help us in those efforts. And many of those folks are actually serving as the lead coordinators for many of our signature events and doing a phenomenal job, including Amanda and Anne Marie, who will be starting off with our kickoff event January 4th at Stonehill. And then we have Jamie and Dan Anderson handling the block party and a number of other folks who have just jumped in. So we encourage folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't think you want to get to the end of the year and wish that you had been involved to help, but didn't do it. So, take a look at easton300.org. You can also send us an email at easton300.2025@gmail.com. That's easton300.2025@gmail.com. Shoot us an email and let us know if you'd like to help out in any way. And same for community organizations. We're very much interested in partnering with you, whether you have an existing activity or you'd like to get involved to support one of the signature events that the committee is planning, or whether you would like to help work with a new event that you might want to schedule. Same thing, reach out to that at that email address, and we'd love to come out and meet with you.
We have 8 major events that'll take place on 7 days. Our goal financially is to raise $350,000. And of course, we'd like to thank those folks out there in the community, the merchants, the businesses, for making healthy donations so that we can plan and prepare for activities for people of all ages. It's going to be a year-round celebration. And I know that when we do this show once a month, and we've always been talking about the activities. And Ken, right now, we know the date, the time, and the place of the events. And we got coordinators for each event. And any particular favorites that you have?
In terms of the activities?
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to the picnic, concert, and fireworks, which, by the way, is duly sponsored by the Bank of Easton and Alex Pires, who'll be sponsoring the fireworks. I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be, and I'm looking forward to it because not only is it going to be a picnic, but there's going to be a flyover, there'll be a ceremony honoring veterans. So it's going to be a very, very interesting and I'm going to say exciting, because I always like flyovers of jets are flying over my head and they're not shooting at me. I like them when they're not shooting.
And it's a good opportunity, certainly, to thank the Massachusetts State Police. They're going to have their wing division fly over our parade route. And that parade will be on July 12th. It's going to be parade lineup at 9 a.m. The parade begins at 10 a.m. It's going to start at the monument. It's going to go the full length of Center Street, take a right on Main Street. And folks, things are multiplying with the parade, and we thank Corey Honan for taking the leadership role. He has about 12 people on his committee. He welcomes new people to join. They got the Clydesdales coming, and they got the Shriners.
Are they bringing the Budweiser?
They're bringing the truck.
You have to bring your own.
I just wonder if they're bringing the Budweiser.
You bring your own.
But,
police chief, you didn't hear that.
It's amazing. Not only will we be able to flash all the colors, which are important to the community, but there'll be floats in the parade. There'll be a lot of community participation, which I think is important. And there's going to be some bands that you got to have music, and everybody loves a parade, no doubt about it. And we're looking forward Both Ken and Dale are practicing with their marching shoes. It's going to be a pretty long route.
It's another thing of exercise for me. I see. Okay. All right.
And we thank Chief Justin Alexander. He's contacting all of the surrounding community fire departments. They're going to come over and salute the town of Easton during their 300th anniversary. And originally we had the parade scheduled for July 4th. The holiday, everybody goes to a parade on the 4th. But by changing it, we had less pressure. We now have fire departments available. We have bands available by doing it on June 12th, so we're looking forward to it. And again, we appreciate the efforts of Anne-Marie Taylor and Amanda Hurley, who are coordinating the opening kickoff event that'll be at Stonehill College. We certainly want to express our appreciation to President John at Stonehill College for giving us the opportunity, and Ken, you're an alumni there. They have been so cooperative, and we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, they've been tremendously helpful. Not only are they allowing us to use the grounds for the kickoff event, they're also allowing us to use the sports complex for the end of the year gala, which will take place in late December, which is also, by the way, being coordinated and structured by Anne-Marie Taylor and Amanda Hurley. So, and both of them have been working very, very hard to get that done, doing a great job. Absolutely great job.
And while we're thanking people, I would like to thank Casey, who's doing all of our flyers. She's got the talent to do that. Her name is Casey Banks. And Casey, if you're watching, thank you so much for your time and, of course, your talent as an artist. Dale, we also have a number of activities. We got an art and cultural festival that will be coordinated by Joan Lundgren and
Diane.
I should say Diane
Lusati.
Yeah, Lasati. And of course, I should remember her name. She's a next door neighbor.
Yeah, yes, I would say so. Yes.
I'm trying to save you from a fate worse than death.
Yes. But I got so many names and numbers and programs and activities and meetings in my head right now. I'm excused in terms of missing one or two names. But how about that block party, which is going to take place on September 6th? And of course, it's almost a year away, but we got a husband and wife crew, Dan and Jamie Anderson,
Yep.
who have been working very hard. They got 17 volunteers on their committee, and they got all kinds of activities for people of all ages.
And that's going to be at the Governor Ames Estate, I believe. And so it should be a lot of fun. It'll be a beautiful location for it, and for a lot of folks who live in the immediate area will be able to walk on over, and it's certainly going to be a lot of fun. And one of my favorite events that will be coming up is actually the bonfire in October that our fire chief has been gracious enough to host and to lead. And that will be over at the high school. And when was the last time any of you were at a bonfire? Probably a long time ago. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And not only that, but there's going to be a nice barbecue. It'll be hosted by the Easton Lions Club. And if anybody can cook hot dogs and hamburgers, the Lions Club can. There's no doubt about it. Their mission is very busy.
Yes.
And that's something that we certainly want to thank them for. Yeah, we serve, I guess, is their motto.
It is.
And you're an active member of the Lions Club. And how about you, Ken? Were you active in the Lions?
No.
It's probably the only organization that he doesn't
No,
belong
as
to.
they said, you wouldn't want to be a member of any organization that would have you as a member.
But anyways, we're talking about the 300th anniversary celebration that's coming up during the year 2025. And if you just joined us, folks, we've been talking about the theme and, of course, the mission that the charge came from the Easton Select Board. And they appointed 10 members. and including a member of the select board, and we certainly can't thank him enough.
Yeah,
Talking
Craig
about
Barger.
Craig.
Yeah.
Greg Barger.
And can I talk a little bit about the merchandise that we're going to be having coming up soon?
Go ahead.
So thanks to the efforts of Anne Marie Taylor and Amanda, if you're noticing some themes here, we're going to have a wonderful selection of tricentennial merchandise available for sale. And we hope to have that good to go actually by Friday of this week, September 13th. There's going to be a sort of kickoff event at the Shoveltown where they'll be unveiling an Easton Tricentennial beer. So the beer is another one of those themes we like to follow through. And we will have more information when we get that portion of our website live at easton300.org. We'll be able to see the listing of items. It'll be t-shirts, sweatshirts, blankets, mugs, bourbon bottles, bourbon glasses, that was my request. And we're also going to be having merchandise available at other various events too. So by way of example, when the Shoveltown and Oak Ames folks are having their final year-end concert, outdoor concert on September 22nd, we'll have a merchandise table there. We're also planning on having merchandise available at our open house. And we're doing an open house for the benefit of the community generally, including community organizations, volunteers, and anybody who would like to come find a little more information about that.
Anything, Ken, that you'd like to say about this volunteer open house, a chance for us to talk about a year-round celebration?
Well, I think you two have said most of anything I would say, but you've covered the ground. I think the only thing I would say is I'd emphasize the idea or the concept that there are 8 signature events. But in between those signature events, there are time frames, significant time frames, during the 300th anniversary year. And any organization that is putting on any kind of activity during that period of time should get it on the calendar so that there are time frames that are filled in between the signature events. And as Dale was saying a minute ago about partnering, that's going to be a very significant way of partnering. So, for example, the Easton Historical Society will have open houses throughout the year. And at each of those open houses, we're going to have signage, banners, etc. We're going to fill in times. We're also going to partner with the Easton Garden Club. We're doing a tricentennial garden on the grounds of the Historical Society. We're going to be doing a joint venture producing, of all things, the silent film version of Snow White with the library. Because, by the way, the producer of that silent film version of Snow White was Winthrop Ames. And so we're going to be putting that on in early May. Right about, that's about May 3rd, if I remember correctly, from 7 to 9 in the evening. The program's still in process, but the date's there. And the silent film will be accompanied by music from 2 musicians from California who do this on a regular basis. This is what they do. They play the music for silent films.
You see, he knows the history. I think we should bring him up from the JV squad.
Yeah, I think
right
you already
on the
did.
varsity
No.
squad.
No. I'm sorry, Ed, don't listen to him.
And if I can also add in, Dave, just a little bit along those lines about the other activities that we have, I want to give folks a little sense of the kinds of things that we're going to be doing that in addition to the signature event. So by way of example, the Lions and Oak Ames Hall will be having a New Year's Eve concert December 31st, 2024 to lead us into the tricentennial year. That will be over at Oak Ames Hall. So they're coming up with an exciting lineup of bands and music, and it'll be a wonderful event. We've also been in touch with the Lions, who are in the planning stages of putting together a celebration of Easton's history. As many folks know, the Lions have done celebration of Easton in different ways over the years. We started in 2020 with a celebration of Easton's community service organizations. We also did one that was celebrating the first responders and the school systems for helping us get through COVID. And then more recently, we did one that was a celebration of Easton's veterans. So this time around, which likely will be in that May 2025 time period, the Lions will be leading the efforts on a celebration of Easton's history. In addition, we've also had some meetings with our local temple, Temple Shai Shalom, as well as Unity Church, and we've been doing some reach out to some of the other churches and houses of worship, and they've expressed interest in doing a celebration of faith, interfaith event.
Terrific.
And that likely will be at Oaks Ames Hall. They have talked about some different dates, but among others, they're considering the possibility of doing it on Sunday, December 21st, because that would be the actual anniversary date in having the church bells ring.
Very appropriate.
But as it is now, I think there's actually an interfaith meeting going on now, Tuesday evening as we speak, where some of the clergy are getting together and they're talking about those efforts, and we're looking forward to some type of a celebration of faith and an interfaith event.
That's terrific. And again, thank you to the Lions Club. While we're thanking people, I would like to express our gratitude on behalf of the committee to Courtney Pupkin. She is the person who plays the major role of raising funds for our celebration, and she seems to know how to do that. She's got the trick, and we appreciate her efforts very much. And Ken, you've been very much involved in working with businesses and coming up with folks that may be interested in flying a banner to salute and show support for the community.
Well, once again, I'm on the junior varsity. Courtney's on the varsity. So I'm just playing the backup role. But yeah, it's been an interesting process. And I have to say that it's been a welcoming process from everybody that I've spoken to, and everybody who's capable or has the means of doing so has been willing to participate. And one of the things I wanted to mention and Dale, you were talking about the merchandise, any profit from the merchandise is actually going towards the costs and expenses of putting on the various events throughout the course of the year, and all of the attendant costs for the anniversary celebration. So I think if you're thinking about purchasing a bourbon glass, do so in memory of Dale.
Yes. In honor of, yes, and I'll join you on that one too.
There you go. But just keep in mind that it's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice selection, and anything you do purchase, in effect, is a donation towards covering the expenses of the anniversary year.
Tell us about the event, Dale. Is coming up on Friday the 13th. Now, to me, Friday the 13th, or to a lot of people, it's an unlucky day. But it's going to be a lucky day for the Tricentennial Committee. Tell us about it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be over at Shoveltown Brewery, and they're going to be unveiling their Tricentennial beer, which they came up with just for the celebration, and a special beer can that they'll have. And we encourage folks to come by. I believe it starts around 7 o'clock or so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And we'll also have some merchandise there, and that will be really one of the first opportunities you'll have to sort of see some of the merchandise, purchase some of the merchandise. And Dave and I suspect perhaps Ken as well, and a bunch of other folks in the committee will be there. So we'll look forward to hoisting a beer with you, and we can talk a little bit about the Tricentennial if you have any questions.
One of the exciting things about being on a committee like our Tricentennial Committee, appointed by the Easton Select Board, is you get to meet new people and you get to work together. You get the opportunity to agree to disagree on some things or the way things might go, but it's a healthy decision when we do that. I think it's an opportunity for us to work together, because the bottom line is the 300th anniversary for the town of Easton. And I know that both these gentlemen agree that it's teamwork that makes a celebration like this work. We want to thank all the volunteers who have come forward, and there are many more we're hoping that will step up. And a great way to start would be the open house, scheduled for September 24th at the VFW. It'll be from 7 to 8:30 p.m. There'll be light refreshments. There may be some people that just want to come by for the refreshments and sign in. That's fine with us. The fact is that it takes lots of people to make a year-round celebration. And I always remember, Ken, a woman coming up to me about a year ago when we were still working at planning, and she said, Dave, can you tell me what day is the celebration? I said it's a year-round celebration. We don't need a big committee with lots of volunteers from the community to plan a one-day event. So it's going to be a year-round celebration. You're going to read about it. You're going to see banners hung. You're going to see lawn signs. You're going to see people talking about it. And this show that we're running called Easton 300 is going to go through the entire year in 2025. So if you're not sick of me now, you'll certainly get sick of me during the year 2025. As Ken, of course, is shaking his head yes.
Well,
it's possible to get sick of me.
He wasn't aware that he was on camera, apparently, at the time.
I'm totally aware I'm on camera.
Okay, okay.
But it's also an opportunity to express our appreciation to ECAT. Easton Community Access Television, they're playing a major role in our celebration, not only covering the meetings, as I mentioned earlier, but they're going to be covering all the events. And guess what, folks? There's more than just the 8 events on 7 days. There's going to be other events, some of them annual events, held every year in the town of Easton. And you know who you are, folks. We hope and we encourage you to beef up your annual event because it's our 300th anniversary. And let's talk about the cookbook. A cookbook that has a sponsor. He's sitting on my left, Dale. He doesn't eat cookies, but he certainly comes forward doing the best he can to help our celebration committee. Again, we thank not only Diane Lasardi, but we thank Roz Miller. And I know my wife was even in there doing proofreading. I can thank her at home. But the fact is that...
Is she talking to you?
Yes, she is. We just come back from Aruba. But I'll tell you, the sun was hot there.
No sympathy here.
But it was a chance to relax and to think about some ideas and programs that we can add to our celebration. So I think that when you take a look at all the events, the town bonfire, the fireworks, the picnic, the concerts, the kickoff event at Stonehill College, the celebration's gonna end and it's gonna start, I should say start and end at Stonehill College. And of course, it's gonna be something that we're gonna be very proud of. And you know, I say to you folks, the world out there has gotten a little crazy. It's time for us to celebrate. And that's what we're going to do here in the town of Easton.
Dave, before we, there's one thing I would like to say, and I think it's important to say it. I'd like to say thank you to Lee Williams, who's no longer with us, but through his family foundation and through his son Kevin, has become and is a primary sponsor of the 300th anniversary. Lee was very influential throughout the town of Easton in terms of capital projects, various organizations. He loved the town of Easton. And I think it's a fitting honor to Lee that during the 300th anniversary, he is remembered at our gala. And I think everyone in town, when you walk around and you see different things, and I'm going to point out one very important thing. The clock, which is located on Main Street directly across from the Farmer's Daughter, is the logo. Lee Williams, through the Williams Family Foundation, in conjunction with the Historical Society. But Lee was responsible for that clock. So every time you go by that clock, every time you drive down Main Street and you see the impact of that clock on Main Street, you should be thinking of Lee Williams. So I personally will say, thank you, Lee. We appreciate it.
And on behalf of both Dale and myself, thank you very much, Lee Williams. He's a guy that had vision. He's a guy that thought about the 300th anniversary way back. And the fact is that we had seed money to start the celebration, and I think it's very appropriate that we do the gala on his behalf. No doubt about it, and we appreciate it. time capsule is another issue I'd like to cover before we sign off. This is something that we know that it does state that the select board members will be present when we open up the capsules that have been buried. One is buried at the Bank of Easton.
Well, let me take that, Dave. There's either 1 or 3 time capsules. There is one time capsule that is currently located at the Bank of Easton, scheduled to be open in January of 2025 in the presence of the selectmen. I didn't make that up, it's written on the box. So we know that we have to open it in the presence of the selectmen, and hopefully we might be able to do it at a select board meeting, which is televised, so that all the folks in the town can get a good look at what's being done. There's also, allegedly, a time capsule that was buried at the Rockery at the, 275th anniversary. The time capsule at the bank was from the 250th anniversary in 1975. And we're trying to locate that because the Rockery in 2003 was redone, rebuilt in a number of different ways. And then there's been a rumor that there's another one floating around, and it might be in the safe at the Historical Society, and we got to get that safe open and take a look. We know there's one that needs to be opened and is required to be opened in January of 2025. So we're going to settle with that one for the moment, and I'm looking and researching on the others.
And at some point in time, we're going to be burying a time capsule as part of our celebration. We're going to have an anniversary book. You're going to have a cookbook with 300 recipes. And yes, cookies will be in that recipe.
And 3-minute scrambled eggs in the microwave.
Yeah. So there's a lot happening, folks, and we want to expand our committee and invite you to do 1 or 2 things, either participate as a volunteer, or maybe you'd like to make a donation towards the celebration, or maybe you'd like to put a family banner up. Certainly let us know. Any final comments, Dale, as the vice chair, that you would like to make?
I think you hit the nail on the head. You said it's a lot of fun. I know I've been really honored to be part of this, and I'm very much enjoying the folks we get to work with to put together these events, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun throughout the year. So this is one of those kind of things where we can all come together and share in the celebration, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Really looking forward to it.
And we thank certainly Mike Good, who's our marketing and communication person, for doing the things that have to be done. We do have a billboard that's going to be going up at some point in time, and we're excited about not only promoting the celebration, but as our theme said, and Dale mentioned it in the early part of our show, bringing families and community together. That's our goal.
Well, that's our goal. And I think you mentioned the anniversary booklet, which is being put together by Chris Ventresco. And that anniversary booklet is going to have a calendar of events in it for the year, just as the last 2 anniversary booklets did. So, which will show all of the various events, including the signature events. I'd also like to say that we should thank Tom and Karen Hetzel for their help
at Langwater.
At Langwater and in some other things, the Festival of Trees, etc. They've done very good work for us.
And we want to express our appreciation to Borderland State Park. The Friends of Borderland are going to be running a car show that is scheduled on the morning of October 11th, 2025. They have one coming up shortly. It'll be their second annual car show, and they're going to be promoting the following year, which will be their biggest. The goal is to get 300 cars, and we're going to be using the park for other things. And we thank their director and supervisor, Buck, for making sure that there's no parking fee on the day that we celebrate our 300th anniversary. How lucky we are to have a state park in our community. How lucky we are to live in the town of Easton, a place that concentrates on doing family things and bringing the crowd together to enjoy a terrific atmosphere. It's not only the educational system, it's the history of the town, it's the population, why people move here. So any final comment you'd like to make, Ken?
I think the only thing I'd like to say is Easton is a unique place. It's an architectural gem. It's got a long history industrially, militarily, and farming. All the various activities in the town over the 300 years. And I think it's a town that we all should be very proud of. I know I am, and I've only been here since 1960. So I haven't hit the full 300.
And two final comments I'd like to make about two events. We did talk about Portland State Park's car show. Langwater is going to have Langwater Farms is going to have a family fun day. And they pack the crowds in. And certainly there'll be hay wagon rides, the ice cream, all the stuff that they normally have. But they're going to beef up their celebration. And that is scheduled for, June 19th. And that will be the Langwater celebration. So there's going to be many other things that take place. I thank you so much for joining us. This cablecast has been a production of ECAT, Easton Community Access Television. I thank our guests, both Dale and Ken. I say to you, go forth to serve. Do it with a smile on your face. Get yourself ready, folks. There's a giant celebration coming during the year 2025. Thank you. Welcome to the Shoveltown Brewery. I'm Dave Clifton. I'm here along with Anne Marie Taylor. And of course, what we're trying to do is to let everybody in town know that there's a giant celebration coming in the year 2025. The town of Easton will be celebrating its 300th anniversary. And of course, 1725 to 2025. Anne-Marie, you got a beer in your hand. Tell us about it.
Yes. So the brewery has been kind enough to collaborate with the Easton Tricentennial Committee, and this is their Tricentennial beer being revealed tonight, just now, when it turned 5 o'clock. It is a golden ale. The can is gorgeous. It tastes delicious. So this will be available through the year 2025, made especially for us. So we're very proud of them and thankful.
Right now I have with me Frank Altieri. He's the guy that runs the show here at the brewery. And of course, we thank you very much for hosting one of our first events as we plan and prepare for the year 2025. Tell us about that can that you have.
Sure, I'll tell you a little.
I know it's a shovel time, but lots of good things here.
Yeah, so as you know, we're proud to be a member of the Easton community. We're really thankful for all of our customers that come and patronize us, because without them we couldn't do it. When we were asked to be a part of the Tricentennial, of course we wanted to be engaged in that for sure. So we brewed a commemorative beer for this. It's actually a golden ale, and it was intended to embody kind of the spirit of Easton with a nice, light, fluffy taste, and and really to show off the craftsmanship here that we carry on from the tradition of making some of the world-class shovels to the beer that we've been producing here for quite some time, for about 7 years now. And you don't stay in business as a restaurant or brewery for 7 years without doing something right. And we owe it to the community also, who support us and come out for the various events we have, like the Tricentennial. So we're very excited to be part of it today, and to really help kick off this great time. And we've got some. I know that the committee's got some great events. One of our operations manager has been working really closely. Will Hope has been working really closely with the committee, and he helped design the beer. They got the label together. And all the other things that we're going to be part of for the Tricentennial. So we thank you guys also for all the work you've put in to pulling this together, because I know there's been a number of meetings and planning and execution that has to take place to really pull this off.
I'll tell you, Frank, it feels good to give back to the community and to do what you can. There's going to be a giant parade. There's going to be a bonfire. There's going to be fireworks. We also are going to have a gala at Stonehill College on December 12th. That's the final event. We're going to open up at Stonehill College with our kickoff event. And we thank you as the leader of Shoveltown Brewery for kicking us off and getting us started. And we know that you're going to jump in and help during the course of the year.
We're going to be getting ready. We'll be selling merchandise at the summer concerts, at the Harvest Fair, lots of places. But the brewery is hopping tonight with the introduction of the Golden Ale Tricentennial Beer.
And of course, we're 3.5 to 4 months away from a giant celebration. It'll be a year-round celebration during the year 2025. And of course, these lawn signs will be scattered throughout the community. We probably have about 130 pole banners that'll be going up.
So the next event that we are going to be at selling merchandise is the end of the summer concert series, which is on 9/22 at 7 o'clock at Oaks Ames Memorial Hall. We'll also be at the Harvest Fair selling merchandise. We've got some really nice things. We're selling tons and tons of bourbon glasses tonight and beer glasses. We've got sweatshirts, hats, all kinds of things. So you want to come by, because there are some of these it's only going to be for 2025. And then we've got 8 signature events. The first signature event, the big one, starting on January 4th, 2025 at Stonehill College. And that's going to be a great event for everybody of all ages. The brewery will also be there. We've got tons of stuff going on. You can look us up on our website.
We also have good cheer. We have the Tricentennial offers good cheer and community, and we're doing a lot of community outreach. And we hope that people will take a look at easton300.org and join in. It's going to be an awesome year of celebrations. And I just happen to be some guy who was drinking over here and just decided to jump in here, really. I actually do have some connection to this.
Actually, this is Dale Kerester, and he happens to be the vice chair of our celebration committee. 10 members appointed by the select board, and the crowd is multiplied.
Volunteers.
Yes, all kinds of volunteers joining in on the fun. And of course, this cablecast is a production of ECAT, Easton Community Access Television. Yes, the open house, Dale. That is certainly scheduled on the 24th of this month in September, and it's going to be held at the VFW. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so September 24th, starting at 7 o'clock, and we'll be finishing up promptly at 8:30. We're going to have a table for each of the signature events, so folks can come and learn a little bit more about what we've got planned. Folks can help out if they'd like. They can, especially for community organizations as well. We're looking for as many folks to get involved in helping out with the planning, and a great way to do it is come out on September 24th to the VFW, and we're also serving light refreshments, are we not? We have light refreshments, so it's going to be a great event. So I've already done enough on jumping into here, so I will hand the mic back and go on my way and get a beer. I'm going to get one of these babies here.
Thank you very much, Dale Kerester. I'm here with Anne-Marie Taylor, and of course your partner organizing 2 major events is not here. I'm talking about Amanda Hurley. But what can you say about her, Anne Marie?
So Amanda and I are co-chairs of the kickoff event on January 4th, 2025. We're also co-chairs of the merchandise, and we're also doing the gala, which is our last event in December, but there's several events in there. I wanted to say also, there's so many events, and we're going to give so much to this community because they give so much to everybody. We need volunteers. We can't do it all by ourselves. So go to our QR, you can go to our website, go to our Facebook and Instagram, and we're all there. So back to you.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie Taylor, for all of your expertise and your hard work and coordinating. We have a major parade that's going to take place here in the town of Easton on July 12th, 2025. There's going to be a bonfire, a picnic, and a concert scheduled on October 11th. And of course, there's going to be a block party at Governor Ames Estate. That block party is scheduled for September 6th. And of course, it's going to open up with an event at Stonehill College. And the final event will be the gala at Stonehill College, and that is scheduled for December 27th. We have a lot of town residents that are here today as we challenge and taste the new beer that has been put together for the celebration. And we have an open house for any volunteer out there that would like to join us and be part of this celebration. We thank ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, for covering this event. And we thank all the volunteers that are stepping up to the plate to do what they can to make this celebration very special. Thank you.